Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Corey, Alex, Randy, Jason, and Evan. Jaimen should be here shortly. Our guest tonight has been a PDGA member since 2021 with 22 career events, or the same number of events Corey played in 2021.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, I looked it up. Thanks for joining us. The guitarist for Timber Coup, Andrew Chamberlain.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Pumped to be on. Evan was mentioned, this was probably like a year or 2 years ago. Hey, you got to get on the podcast. And it's the first time I've ever done a podcast. I love listening to podcasts and stuff like that. So I'm pumped to be a part of one.
How did you first discover disc golf?
I got into it. My buddy Lennon from Connecticut, he just started playing, got some of his buddies in the area into it. This was back in like 2019. So a little bit right before COVID. And he's like, hey, you got to come out and play. The first course I think I went out and played wasn't with him. It was with my other friend out in, right outside of New Jersey. It's Heckscher Park.
Long Island?
Yes, right outside of Long Island. Yeah, I think I went like 30 over that day. We played from the long tees. That course is pretty wild. I think they have 21 holes there.
Sounds right, yeah.
And ever since that, I got into it. It's still into it a lot. I haven't been playing as many career events, but one of these days soon, I'll be getting up to Corey's count in 1 year.
Gotta have goals, dreams and aspirations.
Hey.
Do you remember your first disc?
My first disc? Oh, I think Lennon gave me a Champion Valkyrie. I think he was being relatively nice with that disc choice because he was trying to throw a DX Destroyer at that time, which is like, I think everybody's had one of those and probably thrown it into a pond or like lost it due to a wildly inaccurate throw. But yeah, it was definitely the Valkyrie. And I think he gave me a Wizard to putt with, either that or a Voodoo. It might actually have been a Voodoo from Gateway.
What do you putt with now? Right
now I'm putting with Pixels. I've always putt with PA3s pretty much for the most part, but I'm trying to switch it up. I got into the Pixel as a like an approach and kind of throwing putter. And I've got several of those right now. So I'm trying to like whittle down the bag a little bit and get more into those. So, still probably half and half, but trying to get over to the Pixel. But for the longest time, PA3.
Nice. What's your local course?
ADK Discs is in Johnstown. So I play Dove when I'm out there quite a bit. It's like 15 minutes away from the shop. Heiser is pretty close too. But I mean, really, I would say for the longest time, it was Central Park because I lived in the Stockade for a year. And even before that, I was living in Guilderland. So, I'd find myself at Schenectady quite a bit. That was always my favorite course to hit because you kind of get every shot. And between, the white and blue tee pads, you can really practice just about anything there.
You mentioned ADK Discs. How did that come about?
Really, it just came when I started getting more into like what discs I wanted to throw. I found that I couldn't find anything around. Being in Albany, I think the disc golf store in Troy, New York Disc Golf Supply was open already at that point. But I don't really and haven't traveled out to Troy quite a bit. So, I just was like, man, I got to see what else is out there. I want to try some stuff. And prior to opening, I mean, my store, some people may know this, some may not, but it doubles as a pack and ship store. And that's what I initially opened. I opened Adirondack Shipping Center in 2020. And it's basically like if you go to a UPS store, it's the same sort of deal. But being that I'm independently owned, I can do FedEx and post office related stuff too. So, without boring everybody too much with all that, that's kind of how it started. And, I have a storefront. I had some extra space in the store. The shipping stuff, there's not a lot of like retail that you can sell with it, at least nothing that I was interested in. So I was like, hey, I'm going to talk to some of these disc golf companies, kind of explain what's going on. And, since then it just grew. I think the first brand was Prodigy that I took on. At the time, they were one of the only companies that would actually take on retailers. I know Innova at that time, they weren't taking on new dealers. Discraft was the same. All the heavy hitters at that time, they weren't taking on dealers because it was like, the middle of COVID pretty much. And it was really hard to get materials. There was a shortage on, a lot of stuff, as many of you guys probably remember, for a short time. But yeah, shortly after that, just started taking on more brands, getting more product. And, even to this day, I'm still trying to grow it. I mean, if people have come in and I get some customers that they visit the area and they'll come in once every 6 months. And, every time they're like, wow, you're getting more stuff. And so I'm still trying to grow it. But yeah, it kind of grew from having a storefront and being into disc golf and being like, I got to do something else and something that I want to do,
If I go to the post office and I want to ship something, they sell boxes and such. Other than that, it's not going to take up a lot of room, basically.
Yeah, and I've tried stuff I've tried shipping supplies and stuff, and it's it sells over time, but it's not required for that business. I don't think the retail side of supplies. There's companies like Uline and even Amazon now could really compete with anything that you could offer in a store for that.
Most people are already going to have it already packaged when they get there.
Yeah, and then on the other side of it, I was like, well, okay, if I decide to take this online, which I knew I wanted to, I didn't at first. Really, I was just brick and mortar because I didn't even kind of have the wherewithal to know how to run an e-com shop and stuff. So, but I was like, hey, I can ship this stuff. And really, I started on Facebook groups and stuff like that before I even launched a website.
Nice. What's the website?
It's adkdisc.com or ADK Discs with an S. I doubled down. I really went deep into the pockets. I bought a few URLs just so people can get where they needed to get for the goods.
That is smart. I wondered if it was one or the other. Actually, I usually say it's singular, but it's good to know that both work.
Yeah, it's funny. I was like, man, ADK Discs. I forget what I tried first, but there were a few things that were already taken, and it is a little confusing because there is a club up north that's. I think it's Adirondack. I don't know what it is, Adirondack Disc Golf or something like that. So really, at this point, I've kind of been just when I filed the business name for tax purposes and legal purposes and stuff, I started with Adirondack Discs. And then when I blanketed this business under my shipping LLC, I decided to go with ADK Discs just so it was a little bit different. It wasn't confusing or anything like that.
Well, I knew ADK meant Adirondack, but we do have West of the Mississippi who might not know what ADK stood for. So that was going to be my next question.
Yeah. The first thing I think of is OTB discs. And I'm like, oh, well, that's easy to remember. I hear that and I see that once and I'm like, I can't misspell that and I can't really forget.
I'm old, so I see that and I think I got to stay away from that. It's gambling.
Right?
It's the teletheater.
It's also a lot easier to put 3 letters on something than a long-ass mountain range name.
This is true.
I see on Disc Golf Scene there is a club called the Adirondack Disc Golf Association based out of Plattsburgh.
Yes, that's who they are.
So shout out to those guys, established in 2010.
Yeah,
but that would be like ADGA or something like that, or ADKGA.
ADK DGA?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's their logo, ADK DGA.
Oh, there you go.
Well, they're also a dealer for MVP discs, and every time I call to ask about an order or make a change to an order, they always pull up that account, and it's I've had to make sure because I'm like, no, it's not the right account.
You mentioned vendors. What type of discs do you guys carry?
Right now, I would say I'm the heaviest probably on Axiom, MVP, that family, the Streamline stuff as well. It's wild. If I were to give you guys a detailed breakdown of the order history here, it's 90% of my stuff is those guys, and they're doing a lot of things well. As of late, they've had a little bit of concern with inconsistency, but they're really super consistent, super professional. But I carry, Discraft, Innova, Gateway. I still carry some Prodigy stuff. What else do I have there? Discmania. Obviously, everything that's fallen under House of Discs now. And that's kind of gotten interesting because at some point, House of Discs acquired Discmania, at least a majority of their lineup. So you can go on, what used to be Dynamics site is now House of Discs, and you can just order from a multitude of those companies. Even Castaplast and stuff falls under that family, and Latitude 64. So I would say all the major brands, there's, stuff like some of the offshoot companies that really make great stuff like Clash, Mint, they're big companies now. I just haven't gotten on board. I'm kind of old school in my ways. I started throwing Innova. I saw kind of some of the MVP stuff coming out and people's reaction to that. So I got on board with that. And, I'm sure I'll look back in 6 months and be like, oh man, I should have started carrying this company a year earlier, But yeah, I try to carry a wide range of stuff. That's why, again, going back to why I opened the store, it really came down to all I could find in the area was Innova plastic. And, I started watching pro coverage, getting into, watching that and seeing these guys that are, sponsored by companies like Prodigy and Discraft and stuff that you couldn't just go out and grab and see what it felt like and stuff. So, I try and keep that in mind, keeping a brick and mortar store in the area. People want to check that stuff out, and they appreciate it when they can,
How would you say it balances between in-store purchases versus the online shop?
Well, the last couple months, as all of us know, this winter was pretty rough. So I wouldn't say a lot of in-store, but there's always some funny stories with in-store stuff, and I'll tell one in a minute, but it's mostly online right now. It's the bulk of it's online orders. And, I kind of knew that going in, obviously being in Johnstown. If you guys have ever been out there, there's not much going on out there. So I never expected to have like a store full of people shopping disc golf discs. In the summer, I bring a basket outside. There's a couple acres of like kind of usable, kind of rough, like a lot of brush, but there's a couple acres of usable space. So, I'll bring a basket out, I'll just kind of mess around. I'll throw some practice putts, stuff like that. And right up the road next door to my location, there's a hotel, and there was a kid visiting up from North Carolina on work. And he heard, me putting into chains, and he like literally walked down from the hotel, and he's actually this nasty disc golfer he's not like playing on the pro tour or anything, but we've kept in touch ever since. And he just didn't even know there was a disc golf store there, and walked down and bought a bunch of stuff. So,
Heck yeah.
The people that do come in the store, like, is it always regulars, or do you ever, how often are some randos coming in and, buying a disc?
It was pretty nice out today. It was the same kind of weather in Johnstown, but I had two kids come in who probably like had just figured out where Dove Creek was, or maybe they had a buddy that went to Dove, because they came in, were checking out a few things, and then, they wanted to start at like the more introductory price point. And as of late, I've been carrying like a section for like used and clearance stuff. So I've got like, nice like Star and Champion plastic discs that aren't like totally beat up or beat in for like, the $8 to $10 price range, same as you would buy a new base plastic, disc for. And, they grabbed a couple of those. So they were like first timers, and, they'll probably, like I said, they'll go check out one of the local courses. Dove Creek out there has been great because for whatever reason, people seem to like just stumble on that course more so than Burbine or even Heiser, because those, as they're kind of tucked a little more, out there. So it just seems like people kind of happen upon that course more so than others. And then they come in and, they want to get something to start with. But on the other side too, it's like I'll have people that they don't even know what disc golf is, and they walk in and they see like 1,500 discs just kind of surrounding them, and they're like, obviously the first question they ask is
what
like,
the hell? I thought this was a UPS store.
Exactly.
what are all these frisbees for? Can I get one for my dog? It's like, and no, but it's it's definitely been a mix. And with the weather getting nicer, like as of this past week, I've probably, if not every day, every other day, I'll have somebody come in. Some of them are people I've seen before and know by name. Some are maybe somebody who came in like last year this time of year, or like I said today, even a couple first timers. So it's pretty wide mix.
I know Evan is sponsored by ADK, right?
Yes.
What's the sponsorship? Well, how's that work?
So essentially what I do is, I heavily scrutinize people's performances throughout the course of their past seasons. See who, is really only scoring well and putting in the time and the work. Now it's, ultimately I offer, so it's an allotment. You get a credit to the store where you can buy, basically whatever you want, whatever I have in stock, you can get your hands on. And I do like a special coupon code for the team members. So, if they need anything, even after they've used their allotment up, or, in combination with the allotment, you get a percentage off. That's a little better than your average coupon code. Also provide apparel, stuff that's, enjoyable to wear, comfortable to wear, and, in my hopes at least. And, that reps the logo and stuff like that, just so that, if somebody's playing a tournament, maybe there's a first timer there who, got into a tournament but doesn't know exactly what they want in their bag. They can kind of, ask around or at least see that logo and hopefully check the shop out. But ultimately, it's just like, it's always been fun for me. I kind of, I started the store and I was like, oh, this is something that, I can offer, and it helps me, helps out some of my buddies. And, ultimately it can lead to other sponsorships. I know people who have been sponsored. If your goal is to get a sponsorship with a manufacturer, you can say, hey, I've been sponsored. This is kind of what I've done. And it maybe, I don't know, because I've never tried getting a manufacturer sponsorship, but it's always like, it looks good on a resume, or on, in their eyes, at least I would expect.
Who's on Team ADK this year?
So this year it's Randy and Kat. Evan's on. Eric from Worthy Signs is on.
Eric Struna?
Yep.
All right.
Terry Hudson. Ross O'Toole is on. He was actually the first guy that I sponsored. And it was funny because, I was pretty new to the tournament scene. I wasn't totally new to disc golf when I played my first tournament, but Ross was on my first card that I ever played on. And I was like, oh, this dude's super nice. He's chill. And I could tell he was like putting in the work to improve his game and stuff. So he was actually the first guy I brought on. And I think he won his division, his first tournament sponsored by me out in Stone, which was really cool. But and him and Matt Knopf. Every year it changes up a little bit. It's always kind of, people, move on to other sponsorships. I've always been super lenient. And that might be like to my downfall in a way because I don't require like a contract or anything, but also there's times where like I'll be either more or less involved, being I'm the only basically person running both Adirondack Shipping Center and ADK Discs. So there's times where I'm like, I know I should be putting in more work and more effort on my end too. I don't really require much out of sponsored players, but I also feel like, obviously if you're sponsored by Innova or MVP or something, like there's going to be some more clout to that, obviously, but I'm sure there's more that's required as well.
Are there any requirements as far as what they throw? Do they have to throw like the disc that you carry, or you don't even
Not
care
at
about
all? Honestly, like you don't even have to get a disc from me, ever as a sponsored member, and it's not required to throw anything. At one point I had a batch of discs stamped by Tim Walsh. He's like the polecat guru out of Massachusetts. He has like a whole polecat museum, but he also dyes discs, and he dyed a bunch with the ADK disc logo on it at one point, and I hope those are getting tossed around, but I think I only have like 2 of those left, and I don't know where the rest went. I think I had like 30 at one point.
I have a Leopard 3.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, those are a good run too.
Andrew, I just want to say real quick, my wife listens to the podcast and she's going to hear you say that I didn't have to buy all those discs from you. You kind of blew up my spot a little bit. So, because I've gotten probably more than a couple from you over the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, if we're talking about repeat business, we can Evan's online order list is probably one of the heavier hitters on my customer list. But he's always getting the good stuff. I always make sure to hook him up. I know he goes for certain color schemes and stuff. So, that's another perk, I guess, of being on the team. If there is stuff that you're after, I'm going to give you the lowdown before it hits the mainstream, Yeah,
the lowdown on stuff that I was on the fence. And I say, okay, man, that is cool. I got to get that. Also, I love your minis. I've given out so many minis over the last few years of being on the team, and just kind of letting people know.
I've got new minis. Do any of you guys watch the show Severance? It's on Apple TV.
Just started watching it. I think my wife and I have seen 3 episodes, so don't ruin too much, but go ahead.
Well, I won't, no spoilers. What do you think of it so far?
I'm holding my opinion, but it leans good. I'll say that much.
I love it. It's one of my favorite shows. And I just got some new minis, and they're like Lumen themed, which is pretty cool.
I lean negative normally, so me saying even a little bit leaning good is high praise.
There's so many shows out there. I mean, you got to be critical these days because, ultimately it's your time, and there's plenty of good TV out there fighting for it,
I watched the whole first season of 3 Body Problem, and I still don't have an opinion. I'm waiting for season 2. Randy, how did you get sponsored at ADK?
I got the connection through Tyler Calzada, actually. I think Tyler was one of the earlier sponsored people, and him and Carly were talking about it. So I think we reached out to Andrew through him.
Have you been to the store?
I still haven't been to the store. It is very far away. It's a little over an hour or just about an hour. So yeah, whenever I finally go play Dove Creek, I'll make a whole trip of it and stop by the store.
Randy, can you let me know? Because I also haven't been there yet. I've tried to make up for it with online ordering, but it's also over an hour for me, I think.
Yeah.
We're getting in the other 18 at Dove. I know the guys are starting to work on it. Like pretty much, I think this weekend they're going to be doing a lot of work on it, or this past weekend they did. But we should have, apparently they're saying there's going to be 18 holes by the end of the year out there. So
nice.
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting out when it's closer to being finished.
I recently stopped it, but I was teaching out at Troy Music Academy. As you said in the intro, I play guitar, have for a long time, and I was teaching out there, so I know that drive well. It's a long drive. It's an hour from the shop. I did it every Tuesday for like the last 2 years.
Oh, goodness. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced the band name as well, but that's, neither here nor there.
I think you nailed it.
The thing that always gets everybody with the band name is a hard P at the end. It's actually coup, like a coup d'etat.
I studied a lot of French Revolution, so I always go soft on those. That's just me being weird. You mentioned your local course. How many courses do you have within like a half-hour range?
Heiser's like 25 minutes, and I would say Burbine's between 25 and 30. Both of those are the complete opposite direction. The store is like almost center between those, and then Dove Creek's about 15 minutes. And I'm still waiting. Like my store, so we're located in Fulton County, and they're like super behind the times with a course. Every time I reach out to an official at Fulton County, they reply like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to talk about disc golf," and disc is spelled with a K at the end, and I'm like, this is not going to go anywhere.
Jaimen, how far is Fulton County from you?
It's like an hour.
Oh, never mind. Just, you don't have enough work, Jaimen. You don't have enough work.
That's what I'm usually thinking. Is like, what else can I do?
Yeah, makes sense.
No, Jaimen's hit me up though. Usually we'll connect on like Facebook Messenger, and like I said, I sell on some of the marketplace groups, especially if it's a slow day. I'm like, man, I got to do something. I'll just throw some discs on the marketplace and get some quick sales that way and stuff. I try to be good about getting back to messages, especially like having 2 different or 3 different Facebook accounts between the business and myself. It's like message will ping off. Got to remember to get back to that. People will be hitting me up on like my personal page or maybe on the ADK page. So always trying to keep it in line, but I try to get back to people. And ultimately it's like, just because I have a store, I don't have any expectations of people coming into it. I think for me, it's like, it's fun. And, like I said, the online order thing is just as cool because, I'm set up to ship. It's what I do every day anyway. So, and what I do is free shipping over $50. So a lot of times I'll tell people, like, if they travel out to the store, especially like I've had people come from Syracuse, from like Hunter Mountain area, Utica, especially like for whatever reason, Utica and beyond. Corey, you might know this because I know you're kind of somewhat familiar with that area. There's not much for like disc golf shops out there. So I actually will get quite a few people coming out from there. And then I'll tell them like, hey, if you get like 3 discs or more, you're going to hit that $50 threshold, get free shipping. And as long as you don't need to like actually feel that disc in hand, you're going to get the same deal as pretty much coming into the store anyway. So, it's there, but it's not always required or an expectation for people to be there because of that,
They probably take advantage of that because more money saved on disc means more money for the tomato pie. Chicken wings.
There you go. All right. So, Andrew, how many unique courses have you played?
Unique courses? I mean, I could pull up on UDisc. For a while, I was doing quite a bit more traveling and playing. Let's see how I find that. I'm going to show my UDisc noob skills.
I think go like your account or profile, the bottom right, maybe.
This says 39 courses played.
Oh, same as me.
That's got to be, and it's 514 rounds, 8,333 holes, and I don't even want to admit the amount of throws, but 28,710.
Only because, Pat, you'll enjoy this, but he said he has 514 rounds. I have 527 at J Park alone.
That's why this guy can hit any line on the planet.
What's the farthest course you played at?
Farthest one I've played, it looks like it's somewhere outside of Boston, Providence. Burgess Park.
Do you know it, Randy?
I know it very well. I play the Cape Cod Open there every year.
Heckscher's just about as far. So that Heckscher Forest, the first course I ever played, that's in Long Island.
And I would argue tougher to get to.
Oh, yeah. It's a cool course because the holes are like really long, really low ceilings, but everything's super flat. So you can it's a great kart course, but you gotta be throwing far if you wanna hit pars.
Is that the place with the poison ivy?
That's Cedar Beach.
Oh, okay.
Heckscher is the ticks.
Yes, ticks are. I've had many tick on me after going to that place, and I haven't been there that many times, but almost every time I've had a tick on me after that.
From what I understand, and I don't know many details, so I won't elaborate too much, but apparently it sounds like Long Island might be getting a 3rd course, so fingers crossed on that.
Andrew, what's the farthest you've ever shipped a disc?
Oh, I mean, overseas, I would say somewhere over probably
Slovakia?
I would say the UK for sure. It's funny, for whatever reason lately, I've been getting a ton of orders from the Midwest, like Ohio, Illinois, Michigan. It's kind of interesting. I'm like, man, I can really hone in on what states are really getting after disc golf right now,
I'm sure having a name that starts with A, it helps as far as search results. So
right at the top of the yellow pages.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because I was looking at those the other day.
The hard copy.
Back in the phone book days, man. I think I brought this business up 50 years too late.
Corey had a question for you though.
Okay, interesting segue. You are getting ready to go play Dove Creek, but you are actually going to be on a little YouTube challenge with Ross O'Toole and Matt Knopf.
Corey, have you played Dove Creek yet?
I have not, no. I will eventually. We'll see how long that eventually lasts. But so you're going to go film a video with Ross and Matt. And the challenge for the day is you can only throw 3 discs and a putting putter, but they have to be the most sold discs like recently.
Okay.
So like, what are the 3, and you don't have to go pull up hard facts or statistics, but what are the 3 like the most sold discs recently and the most sold recent putter or in recent times that you would go play Dove Creek with?
I would say, I mean, the trail 100% would be the driver, probably. What else have I been selling a lot of? I mean, people always love the Hex too. And I would say, like, what's another one? I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. I mean, I could pull up some orders, but it's definitely the trail stands out because that every time I stock that disc, it's like it's a matter of a couple weeks before that clears out. But it's another, I mean, not as of late, but a Rolo. That'd be a fun disc for Dove because I think it'd be a little bit weird, but
well, it's for a YouTube video, so weird is good. That gets views.
And that place was designed by a lefty, right? Shout out Terry Hudson.
yes. Yeah, I would say Rolo, trail, and then what's another? I mean, the Pixel probably for the putter, and I know I'm sticking a lot to MVP and Axiom stuff, but at least for what I'm kind of seeing, those are some of the big sellers lately. And then I mean, Firebird, I always sell a lot of Firebirds too. That could be like kind of the disc that's going to actually work well for you there as far as like all the utility shots you're going to have to be taking.
Do you think, okay, so you said Trail, a Firebird, a Pixel,
and a Rolo.
What do you think you're going to shoot at Dove Creek 2 laps around for 18 with those 4 discs?
I mean, it's a short course. You could honestly just use the Pixel the whole time. But like I said, I think the Rolo would make it interesting for sure. I think you could easily shoot even with just those. There are some longer, like, have you guys all played it before? Or has not really many people played it before?
Alex, did you play there?
Dove Creek we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did for Team Challenge.
Yeah, I mean, there's none of the holes are super long. It's mostly technical. There's some tough OB. It's a lot like Heiser in the sense that you're going to be throwing a lot of like weird downhill shots that could easily leak either OB or just like somewhere that you don't want to be, the equivalent of OB almost. But I think you could still go even if not under par with that. Just having the Firebird. I mean, the trail for like hole 9 probably, but everything else you could get by with a putter.
Yeah, Alex, did you say you played at TC?
You played Albatross Creek in Team Challenge.
That is exactly what I did.
Different size bird.
No, yeah, it's a Bird Creek.
Yeah,
Bird Creek.
Bird Creek's a
Nice.
little bit tough. No, I have not played Dove Creek. Now that we have clarified which Bird Creek.
Pretty sure they had a monthly there.
Yeah, they had a month. I think it was in February or maybe January.
I still haven't played it.
It's only 9 holes?
Yeah, for now. I did a couple work days with Terry early on when they were cutting in, but I haven't been since they put in the tee pads, which I really want to check out because I want to see what those turf tee pads are like.
Yeah. The course is playing nice right now. I just went last week, but it's fun. It's like I said, it's like Heiser in the sense that it's like kind of as gnarly in some of the places, but it's definitely shorter. But there are a couple long par 3s that rarely are gonna, like hole 6 has seen so few birdies. I'll be interested when more people start kind of playing it, and if it gets involved with like team challenges and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how people score on it. But there's a couple holes that are definitely demanding.
Do you play any team challenges? New York or New England?
I don't know. Tyler was asking me about, being a backup for Saratoga, but it's tough for me. Like I just played in the Breeze last weekend.
Well, we're definitely going to talk about that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but like I think last year on 2024, I think I only did one tournament. I think it was Battle. I did one of the Heiser tournaments.
I was going to ask, I was looking through and I noticed like each year there was a handful, and then that one year there was just the one. Is there a reason for that?
Just being busy with life and trying to grow the business, keep that busy. I mean, I still play all the time. I play at least 2 times a week whenever I can, if not more.
Do you have a regular dubs or anything?
I love going to Saratoga Dubs. I go to quite a few of those. I think tonight was their first week doing it, and I didn't go. Because I said I was feeling kind of under the weather a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and when I was living in the Stockade, I'd do as many CPS dubs as like I think my favorite dubs to go to.
You mentioned that before. What is the Stockade?
It's basically like when you're more or less in Schenectady, but it's part that kind of runs along the river.
So it's the name of an area.
Yeah, it's
okay.
kind of like I'm trying to think I don't even know Schenectady that well to like break it down in terms of, but it's near Schenectady County College, Community County College, up to almost like where the casino is on Erie. Kind of between those parts is like what they call the Stockade District. It's like a lot of older, more historic buildings in Schenectady.
I just imagined you with your head and your arms through that thing and people throwing tomatoes at you. So I'm glad you clarified.
If I was alive back then, I probably would have been one of those guys getting tomatoed.
So if you're out on a 200-foot wide open hole, no trees anywhere, no wind, perfectly flat, what disc are you throwing and how are you throwing it? Nose angle, are you throwing it on a hyzer, forehand, backhand?
No wind. I mean, this is kind of a newer disc I've been really bonding with, and I can't say enough about it. The Echo from Streamline. That'd be my disc all the way. I'd probably just try and go flat, because for me, like if I release that flat, it's fading kind of out to the right, turning a little bit, but it still wants to finish to the left for me. So, and then worst case, if it goes too flat, I'd hope to be like pin high with, some kind of like 20 to 30 foot putt off to the right of the basket.
And you're right hand, backhand, just to clarify.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, that'd be the disc lately. I love that thing for, just getting it straight out there. Like wherever I'm trying to throw in my mind, I feel like that has enough either, correction of my error or just like accountability to go where I want it to go, at least at that distance. I mean, I'm not a distance thrower. I don't know if I ever will be. Never been known for that, even kind of being a bigger guy. I just, I'm not going to be putting a putter out at 200, although the Pixel is really nice for that too. With no wind, I think, you could do that with a Pixel too. I think for me, I just would be coming up a little bit short.
Any forehand?
Yeah. As of like 2 years ago, I never threw a forehand. And I think it really developed when I was doing more tournaments. I just realized I was like really kind of putting myself at a disadvantage. And I also started throwing with one of my bandmates in Tamberku, and he only throws forehands. And it took him like an entirety of maybe 2 months to start out throwing me. And I was like, okay, I need to like at least see what this is all about. I mean, now I probably can, throw a little further forehand than I can even with backhand. So
what's your go-to forehand disc?
Go-to forehand right now is just like a beat up sort of Star Destroyer. I have a bunch of destroyers tucked away, like a lot of Halo destroyers, but really like a nice, if it's a Star around like 168 and, you put it out flat, it's fine. If you put it on hyzer, it's good enough. And then, even if you burn it over, as long as you don't really cook it, it's going to get out there. But those. I always like my Halo Star Firebird. And then it actually, overlooked often is my A3. I have just like a really flat there. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like a flat approach disc, really thin rim, blunt nose with a bead. And if you get the ones that are really flat, those make an awesome approach disc, especially for flick.
If you can't come up with a trivia question with an answer A3, I don't know what that is. So,
as Pat mentioned, your band is Timbercoo. Great band, by the way. I highly recommend. Check them out. You guys have been killing it for a long time. How long have you guys been a band?
A while. I mean, yeah, and I've known Evan for like probably 5 times as long as I know anybody else in this group chat, if not even longer, from his days with Deja. But
yeah, back in the day, I was in a band with my brother, and we used to play similar kind of gigs. I think we played Rev Hall one time with Dirty Paris on the same night.
Yeah. No, I think we played a few shows together, but yeah, they formed in 2006, I want to say. And I think just, like any band that's been playing long enough, they needed a member change with their guitar player. And I was going to St. Rose at the time and the music program there. And it just so happened I was playing actually with that band. Evan mentioned Dirty Paris before they were Dirty Paris. I was playing with one of the guys there, and, we kind of crossed paths, and one of those guys from Tamberku reached out and was like, hey, we need a new guitar player. Do you want to come try out? And that was probably the day that I gave up the chance to be a music educator, which, now looking back 20 years later, I kind of wish I just stayed on that path. But yeah, I was going to school for music education at St. Rose, and I switched up my degree. I was like, oh, I got to go on tour. These guys are all awesome players. So I ended up just getting my bachelor in arts, finishing out my degree at St. Rose, and we just hit the road and started playing as much as we could.
So I know what kind of, influences and stuff you guys have had, but if we were playing a casual round and you had the Bluetooth speaker, what would be like 3 bands or artists that we would hear on your playlist?
Oh, Snarky Puppy, King Gizzard, and the Lizard Wizard for sure. It's like my favorite band right now is King Gizzard. They're an incredible band.
Oh, When you said King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, I thought that was one band.
That is
No,
one
it
band.
It's all one.
Snarky
Oh,
Puppy
okay.
is one band who is phenomenal. King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. I've heard a little bit. I haven't really dove in.
They're really cool.
They don't even stick to like one genre either.
Uh,
They have like a ton of albums that are just all over the place.
Yeah, they're super prolific, and yeah, every album, like you could listen to them once and you'd think it was like a 70s like psychedelic Pink Floyd band, and then you could listen to another album and it just sounds like death metal, and it'd be like an album that they released within the same year. But they're cool. They're fun. They're an Australian band. So many good bands out of Australia right now. Tame Impala, a million others.
Did you give a third?
Yes, Lettuce, funk band. They're
Lettuce.
like a instrumental funk outfit from where are they from? I think they're from like New York City or somewhere maybe around here.
Do you remember your first tournament?
Yeah, it was Blues at Burbine. I went, so I was an MA3, which is still a pretty hard layout for that tournament. You play all the blue holes except for 7, which is the Beast of Burbine, really hard par 4. You don't go over the pond on 10. And then 16 is another, like the tee shot's really hard from the long pad on 16 at Burbine, but you play from the short pad, which is a pretty soft par 4. But yeah, it was like, I think the first round I was like +6, thought I was on top of the world. I was like, oh man, I get this. I'm going to be like good at disc golf and playing tournaments. And then I think the next round I went like 13 over or something. But no, that was my first one, and that's Burbine's still one of my favorite courses. If I had to pick like a local to my area course, I've put in quite a bit of rounds there. For a while, when I moved out of Guilderland, I was living in Johnstown for a little while, and like every morning during that 6-month period, I would try to get out to Burbine and get either a solo round in or play with one of my buddies. But yeah, that course is just wild. But anybody who's played a tournament there knows it's like very demanding throughout the course of 2 rounds there.
Evan says you bag all blue discs. Is that why? Because your first tournament was at the Blues of Burbine?
No, it just so happened. I looked at my bag and I was like, well, half of these are blue. I more or less have the power to choose my destiny here being at the store. So I'm just going to go all blue. And now it's kind of evolved. There's some white in there. I have the Star Destroyer that I was talking about liking to throw forehand. That's a white bottom stamp Star Destroyer. And I don't know why, but the white, it just feels like a little soft and grippier than the dyed plastic, the dyed Star colors. So,
With the blue, did you find any particular season difficult to locate them, or was that a good color to find?
Honestly, only winter. Winter's the only time, because if it goes under the snow, if you've ever like dug in snow, it kind of looks blue a little bit in the shadow of the snow. And ultimately, at that point, if your disc is going under powdered snow, like it's not going to matter what color it is. You're going to be looking for it. But no, I find that color stands out pretty much. Like it's great in the fall, it's great in the summer, great in the spring. It doesn't mix with the leaves whatsoever. Whereas orange, pink, yellow, all those colors are going to match the leaves a bit.
Would you consider yourself like a winter player?
I play quite a bit. This past winter was really bad, but the past several winters, at least since I started playing, I feel like the winters weren't that bad. And yeah, I'd be out. I think the year before I was out at Central just about every week of the year, barring maybe 1 week where we got a heavy snowfall. Now being up in Corinth, up north, we're in the mountains a little more. And out here, there was just several weeks this past season where I don't think you could play even. It was just like 8 inches of snow, and then later that week you'd get like 4 more,
All right. Well, you played in the DisCap Presents the Blatnick Breeze 8.
Oh, I
In
did.
the MA3 division. How'd that go?
It went well. Honestly, I think first round, I was feeling great. I got 6 birdies, and then I think I got 4 bogeys and a double. So I set myself up for a little bit of failure kind of towards the end of the round, but I was feeling good. If I had kept it clean, I still ended up under par. I was 1 under after the first round. For me, anytime I'm under par, especially during a tournament where it's a little more demanding mentally, I'm feeling good about that, whether I'm in the lead or not,
So after round 1, were you on lead card?
Yeah, so and the guy was getting he was catching a lot of flack for it, but the guy leading MA3 was 7 under, and then there were 3 of us, myself, Cameron Tarbox, and Todd Lorenk were all 1 under and tied at 1 under. That was the lead card. It was 3 guys at 1 under, 1 guy at 7 under.
Do you know the guy who was at 7 under?
No, it was his first tournament. first ever tournament, and he was super nice. Like everybody was like, "Oh, this guy shouldn't be playing in this division, this and that." And he told us, he's like, "I've been practicing here a lot. This is the best round I've had, by far." And then the second round, he ended up going 2 under. So
came down to earth a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, I think we've all had those days where it's like, even when you get your head wrapped around the sport pretty well, you're still going to have a really good day and a really bad day, no matter what. So, but yeah, no, round 2, I ended up kind of falling off. I think for me, if you look at my stats, 2024, I only played 1 tournament, and I've been doing a lot of disc golf, just playing casually. I just found it was like the stamina, like halfway through the second round, I was just like, my body was feeling like kick, I've always been kind of bigger. I've been in kind of the best shape I've been in my life as far as like just being healthy, being physically a status that I want to be at, but still I kind of like just felt the drainage. And I think it was just from not playing multiple rounds. As often as I play casually, it's usually like, you play 1 round, you take it at your own pace, and then, head back home. So I think I kind of underestimated the, not so much the mental endurance, but the physical endurance of the second round. But, these guys can attest too, though. I mean, the winds, like it was cold, it was windy, not as bad as Blatnick has been, obviously, with the wind, but, the back 9, there was some wind, and I think I was just underprepared a little bit with my attire and stuff too, but it got me.
Came in 4th place, and looks like Cameron Tarbox and Todd Lorenz tied for second at -1, and Mark Davidson is your winner at -9.
Yeah, he slayed it. I think what did his rating come in at, like 960 or something?
981 and 912.
Yeah.
947 average.
Oh,
this is wild. I mean, I would love to be getting my PDGA number with that rating starting,
His second round rating looks like it matches everybody else's best rating. So throwing him round 1 with AM3, I could see that.
Yeah, and round 1 was the scoring round. The rain held off for the first round. Like I said, I mean, the winds, at least in my opinion, when you got to like hole 7, the winds were pretty brutal, and that's where the backups historically happen on that course. So, you're kind of just standing there in the wind for like 15 minutes in between each hole. But it wasn't as bad in the first round. So I think that's where I think a lot of people, at least the guys on the lead card, we were kind of, I mean, for me, I scored a lot better in the first round and kind of let the second round play out the way it did. But
Mixed Amateur 2 looks like Joseph Malillo came in 3rd place. Christopher Yeager in 2nd at +4, and Eric Bossenbrook is your winner at +2. Sparky Spalding wins the MA60 division. MA50, Daryl Menton shot a -10. MA40, Evan, how'd that go?
How did that go? Another great day at Blatnick. First round, I was on a 3-man card with Terry Hudson and Chris Yeager from MA2, but we were all playing from the blue tees, so that was fine. Terry's Team Gateway, and Chris, I want to say, was Goliath, maybe. And I think they're made by Gateway. So those guys were just kind of nerding out all around about discs and plastics and molds. And we started on hole 6, and I had a pretty decent start. I think I started with 5 pars in a row, maybe. Notably hole 9, which is the long 736-foot par 4. Threw my 3rd shot with my trusty bear from about 250 feet, hit the pin, and sat down for a drop-in par. So that felt really good. But finished the round at +8 would put me 4 strokes back of Terry, which, felt like, all right, not like way out of it.
Terry in the lead at that point?
Terry was in the lead after round 1 at a +4.
Corey's pick
Yep.
to win.
Joe Caron was +5 right on his heels. Tim Goyat at +6. And then Aaron Holtby and I were +8. And then Eric Hannell, I had met him for the first time, but he's Tucker's owner, Tucker the dog.
Tucker rules.
Tucker rules. So, lunch break, like, Andrew said, I kind of had the similar experience where, as prepared as I felt by the second round, I was kind of dragging, even though, I packed a lunch and tried to get enough rest. I'm looking at some of these other guys with their carts. I think I might need to look into that. That might help, either that or, work on my conditioning. I think also, like Andrew already said, standing around in the cold is just, it wears on you. It was nice for the Blatnick breeze for, I think this is my 3rd breeze? 4th maybe, actually. Comparatively, the weather, and even in round 1, like he said, the scoring round, it was a little better. So round 2, I was on a card with Eric Hannell. We were matched up with Cody Conine from MA1 for another 3-person card. Started on hole 6 again, and just couldn't quite make all the same stuff happen that I did in the first round. Did get a birdie on hole 12, which is like a 500-foot par 4. It's got the baseball field OB on the right, if anybody's played there. Made a nice birdie putt there that felt pretty good. But finished that round at plus 11, which unfortunately put me into 6th place out of 6.
DFL?
DFL. Yeah, if you look at my stats page, like, oh, you finished 6th. But if you click on the tournament, it's 6 out of 6. Beat my rating in the first round by 10 points, but missed it in the second by 10 points to pretty much come right in at my rating. So my goal of getting my rating up, we're off to a slow start.
But you didn't drop your rating.
Didn't drop my rating. Hopefully some old bad rounds will fall off. I haven't really looked at that in a while. But definitely want to shout out, well, if you want to go through the results, but I want to shout out Tim Goyette, who came from behind and got his first win in MA40 in semi-dramatic fashion. I wasn't on the lead card, but the guys who were said his shot on hole 4 was one of the best shots they've seen there. He got the only birdie. Joe Caron took a bogey there. And that really put Tim in the driver's seat to hang on and take his first win.
I'm sure we'll talk to Tim about that in the near future. But yeah, Terry Hudson came in 3rd at plus 12, Joe Caron in 2nd at plus 10, and Tim Goyette, your winner.
39-year-old Tim Goyette.
Yeah, plus 9. So bagging for 1 year. Okay, yeah. I'm going to do it in 50 this year, so it's
Tim
fair.
Goyette's out here beating up on the actual old guys.
Mm-hmm.
As a spry 39-year-old.
Using those last ligaments in his legs before they deteriorate. Do it to it. MA1, Justin Park came in 3rd place at plus 3. Robert Hallam in 2nd at plus 1. And little AB, Anthony Bahansky, shoots an even par to win MA1. Is he bagging, Corey, or no?
No, unless he wants to play in the 40-year-old group.
Okay.
MP40, I hope.
I don't see an MP40 division.
No,
here.
there wasn't.
FPO Women's Pro Open, Megan Mercier is your winner. And MPO, Randy, how'd that go?
It went pretty well. First round, I was playing with Danny Parton, who I have played a lot of first rounds with him, and he has a very calming aura. I would gladly play rounds with him. I also had Chris Dahl and Justin Muccelli, so a good card. Guys I've played with a handful of times at this point. And yeah, round 1, the weather was pretty good. I think we all carried umbrellas, in our bags to ward off the rain. And I don't think I popped it open a couple times, and it would only last a few minutes. So really, the weather didn't really dictate that first round too much. There was some wind, though. I definitely played safe. I had a couple layups, I think, from 30 feet-ish where normally would run it, but I think bogeys are more expensive than the chance at a par on Blatnick with the potential rollaways.
Well, you were practicing your layups before the tournament, right?
Yeah, it's important. The course was mowed, actually. So a lot of the baskets have a nice little grass like mound under the basket. So you can like aggressively lay up like right under the bucket. It's great.
Bro accidentally lays up to the basket one time, and then he centers his entire personality of the course around it.
Yeah, it's a great course to lay up on.
Into the chains.
Just to clarify, Randy, that's kind of the knock on this course, right? There's very few times of the year that it's playable because it doesn't get maintained.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I don't think I played Blatnick since last March, realistically. Maybe I snuck in around in like November, December. But yeah, historically, it hasn't been taken care of. Niskayuna has sort of committed to taking care of it better. So, I mean, we'll see this middle of this summer, but
fingers crossed.
Yeah, they mowed the whole course for this event. It was kind of the best shape I've seen it in.
And Kenji said the communication's been better, so.
No, that's good.
They put down gravel for the tee pads. I don't know what the long-term plan is. I'm kind of hoping for pavers. That course can, having good footing for a powerful tee shot on that course is really important. A lot of us were struggling a few times with the gravel and, having it kind of squash under your foot when you're trying to throw hard. But it was better than the old lumpy, grassy pads. So still a big improvement.
What's your preference, Randy? Would you rather dirt or gravel? And I know that can vary course to course. Like they might have good gravel, they might have good dirt.
Yeah, that's the problem. So this stuff was really new and it was a little bit on the fine side, like not sand, but that same effect where if you were digging your heel into sand, it would actually dig under. Whereas at the Greenville course, the gravel is pretty coarse. And when you like dig your heel in, you don't sink into it as much. But I think this material that they got I think you could throw pavers down on top of it pretty easily. So I'm hoping that's the goal. But yeah, like I said, the course was basically the best shape it's been in a long time. For that first round, definitely played it safe. I think I shot 2 under with only 1 bogey. Definitely just tried to keep an even keel. The card wasn't scoring super hot or cold. Chris Dahl just like pulled away during that first round with a couple extra birdies when I, had to lay up on some of those open holes where I was left with, like a 60-footer, and there's no reason to get aggressive on a day like that.
So it looks like Chris Dahl and Ethan Hatters both had 55. You and Troy Vasari at 57 after round 1. So you're down 2?
Yeah, down 2. No one running away with it, really. 2 strokes at Blatnick can happen really quickly. And yeah, it started to rain on hole 18 of the first round, and then it poured during lunch. So I didn't hang out with anybody during lunch. We all, I think, pretty much sat in our cars and had our lunches and listened to Kenji yell from our cars.
They don't have a pavilion or anything?
No.
Easy ups, baby.
Yeah, just the easy up.
Randy brought an easy up to put out by 6's tee, which was very thoughtful.
What's that, like a little pop-up tent?
Yeah, just to give people some reprieve if there was rain after playing some open holes. It was a good place to stand and watch. You can see a few holes from that spot, so hopefully some spectators enjoyed it if there were any. But yeah, we all got out of the cars for round 2. It was a little hard to get warmed up. The temperature dropped when the rain came in. Then we started round 2, and it really didn't rain much during the round. I definitely popped my umbrella a few times once again, but rain wasn't a big factor. You just had to keep your disc dry and you'd be fine. The wind did come up a little bit more. So like hole 1 played a lot harder being out in the wide open. I hit metal on hole 2. It would have been really nice to ace it, but still felt good. Sorry, not hole 2. Hit metal on hole 3, which is an actually gettable hole.
Still nice, but I was going to say 2 is like,
hole
wow,
2 is
Randy.
Really difficult.
What did you throw?
No. Hole 2, I bogeyed the first round and was very happy to take a par in the second round. But yeah, no, hole 3 is a nice shorty. Able to almost get that one. My card, 3 of us got hole 5, which is pretty crazy in the wind. It's big Anheuser if you're throwing a backhand. And honestly, getting a flick there with wind is extremely difficult. And we walked up and all of us had like 15 footers, which was pretty wild. I got a lot more birdies in that second round. I was in contention with 3 holes to go. Hole 16 is probably the hardest hole on the course. I played it smooth with 4 hands and got a weird like skip and roll on my second shot. So I had to play along the wood line and ended up with a bogey on that. And then 17, still in contention. I think Ethan was laying for a bogey putt when I still had a chance at a 2. So I got aggressive and tried to throw in a 2 from about 90 feet away. Ended up throwing it a little long, missing the comebacker and kind of taking myself out of the running. But I still had a good day, scrambled well. Very happy to play with them and still make cash.
So Ethan and Chris were tied after 2 rounds. How'd that go?
On hole 18, Chris was parked for a birdie, and I think Ethan had a tester putt, maybe a 30-footer to win it outright, and I think he missed it. So they went on to a playoff. They had to walk back to Turney Central, which is the parking lot next to hole 15 and hole 6. And the loop for the playoff was starting on 15 being a just wide open, 350-foot shot, I think. So they started on that. It was still kind of windy. They both, I think they had like 20-footer kind of thing, and they both made those putts, which honestly is a little terrifying at Blatnick.
Justin, give him an update. What's going on? Well, Ethan just threw it into the sky and is like 30 feet short, but Chris Dahl has a 40-foot jumper, and he's probably going to nail it because he's kind of that guy.
Yep.
So
I'm here for it.
I think that in either case, we are not finishing on this hole.
I don't think so.
Yep.
Looking like a 30-footer. Let's go. What a putt. More holes. My hand is very cold holding this phone. Switching hands.
And then they moved on to 16, which is a par 4 that is lined with OB on the left and then rough on the right. Ethan went first on that hole and threw a pretty aggressive forehand. He had a great forehand during the round, and unfortunately his straightened out and just pushed into the OB on the left.
Ethan has gone out of bounds. Kiss that sign.
And Chris Dahl, I was really impressed. He still went with his plan with like a fairway driver up the middle backhand that could very easily turn over into the rough or fade out OB. He could have gone with, a putter layup to try and play it super safe, but he went with his aggressive plan, landed pretty much right in the middle of the fairway.
And Chris Dahl has thrown an absolutely beautiful throw right next to that tee pad.
From OB, Ethan got himself to about 50 feet, I think.
Ethan, you kissed off the sign, so you're just going to take a diagonal off of it.
Throw from somewhere you're not going to break your arm.
No, he was diagonal enough. I think you're a little bit in front of the sign, so you're
in front of it.
Yeah. Ethan is making his dad run to get his disc that he threw 200 feet out of bounds.
26.
27. And his dad threw it into a river.
Why'd you throw it? Come on. Flare. Skip. Okay. Yep.
Ethan has a long look still. Save that par.
And if Ethan had drained that, he would have, pushed the hole to another playoff hole, but wasn't able to make that.
All right, so Ethan's looking at this putt to keep himself alive, basically. Oh, off the cage. Chris just has to put this under the bucket to secure it.
Chris was able to lay it up to the mouth where the basket is and had a nice 7-footer to win it.
Great shot again, Dahl.
All right, so Chris has got a long birdie look. And Sean, to answer your question, not good enough to play in this playoff, but pretty good. And that should be it. Chris is looking at a 6-footer.
Did you film that?
Yep, I did the Facebook Live for that. That was fun. The crowd was really interactive, trying to be respectful of the players. I stood up and was more of a spotter where I was filming instead of being right behind them. But that also allowed us to have a little bit more discussion going. So it was fun.
Good job. That's it, folks. Chris Dahl, the new Blatnick boy.
Good job, dude.
Chris, would you like to thank anyone?
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my wife, my daughter, my dog, Randy for filming, Ethan for letting me win, and DisCap.
Hell yeah. All right, bye, everybody.
So Chris Dahl is your winner of the DisCap Presents the Blatnick Breeze 8. Tournament director Kenji Klein, assistant tournament director Jeff Wachowski.
So after that playoff, I was distracted filming. They were actually playing off. So we all had to do the A-spot throw off afterwards.
I wanted to add, you said that the playoff started on 15, which was wide open, except for the fact that the A-spot throw-off was happening from 6's tee to 15's basket.
That is true. There were a bunch of discs just laying on the ground during the playoff.
It appears that we are playing off on the A-spot throw-off hole, so there's a bunch of discs out here.
So luckily everyone kept track of their throws. But yes, we had to clear that basket off to start the playoff. But then after, the three of us moseyed over to do the A-spot throw off real quick. My bag was already in my car. So I was just like, Ethan, what do you got? Give me something stable. He handed me a P2, a champion P2 that was very stable. I found out when I threw it. And then just a buzz. And I think the P2 was kind of close. And then that buzz, I managed to just hit the dirt right under the basket and park it and steal. Evan, did I steal your money?
So it was 207 feet, I think. I threw a pig in a zone. And while we were waiting for you guys to finish the playoff, I had the third and fourth closest shots, but fourth didn't count. So I was in third place. And then Randy, with a disc he's never thrown, slides into first by 2 inches and kicks me out of the money. So well done.
Yeah, I felt that was satisfying. I almost took home as much cash as Chris Dahl by taking that. So felt good.
Shout out Eric Struna for making towels, because I think everybody already had enough Blatnick Breeze Firebirds at home.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, can you ever have enough Firebirds?
To be honest, I would have liked a Firebird, but the towels were great.
All right. The 22nd annual FDR Fools Fest presented by Innova. We did a draft and I put up a poll to see who everybody thought would do the best. Based on the votes, last I saw it, which probably hasn't changed, with 1 vote, Evan Parsley, you had Steve Brinster, who came in 2nd place, Joe Byerly came in tied for 11th, Jess Lasasso came in 7th, and Harry Lehman came in tied for 53rd, which gave you 73 points. I probably should have checked who voted for him. I think actually, Evan, your 1 vote was Brian Bickersmith.
Yeah, bro's been picking bad all season.
Wait, he didn't say I was in last.
Not you, Brian.
No, but if you're saying Brian picking me was a bad pick.
Oh, I just assumed because, Dave, you're right. We don't know that information yet. Sorry, we'll see.
No, the information we have is that I got the least votes.
Yeah.
Which is fair. I don't blame anybody for that.
True.
Updating it live. Yes, Brian Bickersmith was your only vote. You didn't even vote for yourself. Next up with 2 votes, Brandon Klein, or B. Klein, and Eric Heinel voted for Tim Goyette, who had Dylan Capiccioli, who tied for 16th, Dylan Horst, who tied for 6th. Now, he had Alyssa Denson, who DNF'd with the FPO. What I did was, because when we did the picks, I think there were 11 women or 12, but by the time they started, there were 7. So I gave everybody 8th place. That sound fair?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Not that like there's that many positions to
Fair, fair.
like have score differences
Yeah.
anyways.
So Alyssa Denson DNF, so he got 8 points there. And Jason Gorsuch was his dark horse with 66 points, giving Tim Goyette 96 points, and right now second place. Evan still in the lead with 73 points. Next up with 3 votes, Corey Cook, Kathleen Bemis, and Adam Dahl voted for Corey Cook's picks. He had Wyatt Mahoney, who came in first place in MPO, Michelle Gallagher, who came in first place in FPO. So far, so good. Matthew Geffert, who came in tied for 34th in MPO, and his dark horse, Corey Cook, tied for 41st, giving him 77 points, moving him into second, but Evan still in the lead with 73 points. Next up with 4 votes, Randy Bemis, Sparky Spalding, Alex Potts, and Ivan Ivan Marmota voted for Alex's picks. He had Ryan Nelson, who tied for 11th, the highest finishing dark horse. Zachary Tassone tied for 24th. David Fleck tied for 9th, and Rose Shurtick came in 4th place, giving Alex 48 points, your new leader. What do you think, Alex? How'd you like your picks?
I'm feeling real good about that. I was a little bit scared when I saw Zach on my card for round 2, but he played well.
All right. Now, the next 2 players have 9 and 10 votes, and I do have to apologize before we get to this. I looked, I don't know, probably Wednesday or Thursday, and I saw that Jaimen had 9 votes and Jason had 8 votes. And I'm like, I don't usually vote in these things because I try to stay impartial, but you know, if I make it tied, somebody's going to vote again, right? It's just human nature. So I voted for Jason to tie it up at 9. So with 9 votes, we had Ryan Nelson, Evan Parsley, Eric Mergendahl, Marcia Focht, Adam Babbitt, Caitlin Clay, Kevin Cronky, Tim Goyette, and Brian Monahan voted for Jaimen. He picked Alden Slack as his dark horse, who tied for 46th. Caitlin Clay in FPO tied for 2nd. Cookie Tarleton in MPO tied for 19th. And he picked himself, Jaimen Hume, tied for 44th.
It's actually just Cook Tarleton, I learned.
Cook Tarleton?
Yeah, Cook Tarleton.
All right. So with 111 points, Jaimen Hume. Just to clarify, Alex still in the lead at 48. And then your winner with votes, with 10 votes, Jason Lasasso, my vote, which skewed everything, Kyle Hirsch, Brian Heller, Mike Schwartz, Joe Karen, West of the Mississippi, Rob Quincy, Josiah Zudzma, Charles Carpenter Jr. III, Shane Delamateur, and Filth Raskinator all voted for Jason. He had Kyle Moriarty, who tied for 11th, Carly Bennett Sharon, who DNF'd, so got him 8 points, Filth Raskinator tied for 24th, and Miles Sayer tied for 19th, giving Jason 62 points, which is good enough for second place. But Alex, your winner with 48 points. What one pick do you think made the difference?
Oh, Ryan Nelson, for sure. That dark horse pick, I think it worked out very nicely.
It looks like Corey Cook was the second best dark horse pick at 41st. Now, as you guys all know, once the picks are made, once the tournament is finished, I go through and make my own picks. Does anybody think I can beat 48 points?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. For MPO, I could have picked Gillis McDougall, Brad Schott, or Devin Frederick. They all tied for 3rd. Betty Keene tied for 2nd in FPO. And Nate Stewart would have been the best pick for a dark horse. He's a 956 rated. He tied for 6th. That would have given me 14 points. So I would have sneaked ahead of Alex's 48. But of course, these are all made after the fact, so it doesn't really matter. But Corey, how'd your weekend go?
Pretty okay. I drove down with Kyle Hirsch and Joe Byerly. Got down there, plenty of time to warm up. It was a beautiful day as opposed to what happened in Blatnick, I guess. But I think it was projected to be like high 60s, and it felt like it got like even warmer than that by the time round 2 came through. So round 1, I started on hole 8, and I said one of my goals was to start at a lower hole number round 2. Meaning that like maybe I moved up in cards. So round 1, I got a couple birdies kind of early on and was saving some good pars, but I didn't get some of the easier birdies or the birdies I'm trying to get, like hole 10, the par 4 in the back, and the par 5. I didn't get that birdie either, but I saved a par from going OB on the green. About halfway through that round, I hadn't gotten a bogey yet, but wasn't getting any birdies either. The front 9 in the FDR feels a lot less scoreable than the back 9, so as I was making that turn, from hole 18 back back to hole 1. I just wanted to like finish out bogey free. So yeah, I went 4 down bogey free round 1, which felt okay, but not great. Kind of put me right at the end of the cash line. I think top 30 was paying out for the tournament. So the funny thing round 2 is I actually felt like it got too warm. I'm not ready for like mid 70s disc golf. Like my hands were super clammy. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt all day, even in the morning when we first started.
Pink shorts?
Pink shorts, yep. Procured via Jaimen at the discount store. Shout out Jaimen for clothing me. Yeah, so round 2, it was kind of the same story, except for, so round 1, the last hole I had a par to not lose my bogey-free streak was hole 7. I finished on hole 7 and saved a great par from like circle's edge. And round 2, I started on hole 7, so 1 hole better than round 1. Yeah, so I started on hole 7, bogeyed it. Literally had to make the same putt basically to save par, and I messed it up. So I felt like I played a little bit better, but my putting was off. I shot another 4 down round, but this time with 2 bogeys to fall out of the cash line. Wait, I think I went 8 down. No, I went 7 down. Yeah, I went 3 down round 2, which unfortunately had me tied with John Hafner.
And unfortunately, he's listed ahead of you.
Yeah.
Why? You have a better rating, better
Yeah,
number.
that's some bullshit. That must be because he had a better round 2 than me, but I'm not buying it.
I'm pretty sure it's hotter round 2, yeah.
Which is lame because it's like just flip-flop.
Yeah, round 1 scored harder, I think. Rated harder, maybe. It definitely did. I should be listed first.
How often do you play that, other than Fool's Fest? FDR, I mean.
I would say, including Fool's Fest, I might get a half a dozen rounds of FDR max.
All right. What about you, Alex? How many rounds do you play in a year at FDR?
Less than I'd like. I really enjoy that course. Honestly, I think it's pretty much just Fool's Fest for me, but it is double Fool's Fest because I generally play Pro and Am.
So you're playing this weekend?
I am playing this weekend, yeah. This past weekend, I don't think there's any way for whatever I did, like results-wise, for that to transfer into Am points for Worlds. So I gotta make sure I get in every Am chance I have, basically.
So how'd your round go?
My round felt really good to start off, honestly. So I started on hole 12. It was a gorgeous day. The sun was out. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too windy. I had Nick Warren, Jay Gorsage, and Sean. I'm blanking on his last name, but I didn't really know him. But the other 2 I knew really well, so that was a really nice card to start off on.
Conover?
He sounds right. Nice steady player, not super distance, and I think he wasn't particularly familiar with the course, but he played well. But yeah, started on 12, which I would have liked to have 1 or 2 holes to warm up before going for 12.
Yeah, that's one of the longer holes on the course.
Yeah, it's one of the softest par 5s you'll play, so it's pretty safe to get the birdie most of the time. But I want to go for the eagle on that hole, so I want to have a couple of holes to warm up. But I tried to go for the eagle, hit like a couple of branches, so it died out early, and just had a super simple up and down to get a birdie. So I wasn't too upset with that. Then hole 13. I got a birdie on that one too. Hole 14, I took a par. Hole 15, I got a birdie. And suddenly I'm sitting there at 3 down through 4 and being like way more successful at this course than I ever have been. 16 went calm. 17, I got a birdie. 18, I got a birdie. So I'm 5 down through 7. And then the front 9 hit and I played much poorer, but I was feeling really good for that first 7 holes.
And you're playing whites both rounds?
Yeah, playing whites both rounds. Hole 3, I took a stupid bogey. Hole 5, I took a stupid bogey, and things were a little bit rough from there. But if you look at it like as straight up front 9, back 9, on the back 9, I shot 6 down. On the front 9, I shot 3 over.
I'll give you stupid bogey on 3, but I won't give it to you on 5. 5's a tougher hole. I mean, if you don't get through, you just don't get through. And a bogey's the best you're hoping for.
The worst thing for 5 was I hit a tree that knocked me. You know the pit that's right next to the yellow basket?
Yep.
Yeah, I was on the slope. If I had rolled down the hill or, been on top of the hill and had any sort of footing, then I might have been able to get things in there. But ended up taking a bogey. But yeah, I missed 6, which really should be getting 6. I took another couple of bogeys, but was able to recover. Got hole 9, parred 10, birdied 11. So I was feeling pretty good. You know, I was birdieing a lot of the holes I felt like I should be birdieing, and some of the mistakes I was making were easily clean upable. So yeah, I was feeling pretty good going into round 2. Looked at my card. I had Phil Riscona, JP Hafner, and Zach Dasone. which immediately made me a little bit worried because I had picked him for our draft.
I think Jason had Raskinator.
Yep. But yeah, I got to see just how powerful of a forehand he has. That was instructional. But round 2, I did not birdie basically anything on the back 9. I started on hole 10 for round 2, and I had 1 birdie and 1 bogey, like 3 putted on 18 to take the bogey. So I'm not feeling great, but I was able to clean things up on the front 9 and went pretty much even through the front 9 as well, with I think 2 birdies, 2 bogeys. So even in round 2, and not where I wanted to be after, 6 birdies in round 1, but it's far better than I did last year, so I can't complain too much.
Do you remember what you shot last year?
I want to say I shot +3 over the course of 2 rounds.
What are you thinking about next week?
Next week, the biggest thing is edge of circle putting. I think I lost about 12 strokes from 25-foot putts that I missed. So if I can clean up half of those, then I'm going to be in really good shape for next week. I'm a little bit concerned about the weather, though. Obviously, nothing's going to stand up to, 75 degrees and sunny, but it's looking like 48 and rainy. So we'll see how that goes.
If you shot this same 2 rounds, there might even be different layouts and all that kind of stuff, considering. Would you be happy if you told us next week that you shot -3?
I think so. I was looking back at previous scores. I'd like to be better than -3. But if I was -3 like last year, I would have been, I want to say top 5, which would be very good. So I can't complain too much about that.
Heck yeah. Jason, how'd you do this weekend?
I didn't play that great. I mean, I think I played better than I did last year. That I kind of struggled this event, but yeah, I like the weather, and I get to play with Brinster second round. Ooh. And we had a battle going, and he ended up hitting a 50-foot putt on the last hole to beat me by 1, and that was my first time ever playing with Leighton Brinster. But little kid, I played with his father dozens of times, but he's a good kid. He's got a really good head on his shoulders. He played really smart. Usually a lot of young kids, you don't see that, but he had a pretty good strategy attacking the course. Really well-rounded. He's got a good forehand, backhand, better forehand than probably his father. But yeah, it was fun playing with him, and I don't know. I wish I did better, but it was still a good time.
Do you got to get going?
Yeah, I should probably get going.
Any events or anything coming up?
I think Jess's league is starting up soon, maybe the week after next. Well, I'm going to jump off then. Sweet up, guys. Good talking to you. I'll listen to this Friday and see some of you on Saturday.
Later.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
So, Jaimen, how was your FDR weekend?
Pretty lackluster. I had fun cards all day, but I just it felt like the first tournament of the year, so I was really nervous on the first few holes, and that was really it at the end of the day. I started off on hole 5, double bogeyed that, and then bogeyed 6, and it was just after that, I was able to kind of get a hold of my playing a little bit and make some things happen here and there, but nothing good enough to talk about, really. It was, just a kind of ho-hum subpar day.
How often do you get to play FDR in a year?
3. I'm not going to get down into FDR until next March, probably.
Okay. I mentioned earlier that Gillis McDougall, Bradshaw, and Devin Frederick tied for 3rd. Steve Brinster came in 2nd, and Wyatt Mahoney is your winner. How old's Wyatt this year? Do we know?
I'm not sure that kid ever ages. I feel like he's been 15 for 4 years.
Is he 18 yet? Does anybody know?
Definitely not. He might be 15 this year.
He's a PDGA member since 2016, which is probably his birth. So he's 8.
And he crushed the field by 7 strokes on the day.
Did he? Oh, yeah. Who picked Brinster? Was it Evan?
Correct.
Always a good pick on this course because it's not forehand heavy. I mean, if you have a forehand, that's good, but...
Oh, Wyatt's a lefty.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Wow. So on Sunday, they had the FPO and age-protected divisions. FA60 Women's Amateur 60, Marcia Focht is your winner. That's a Mind Kill, no?
Yep. She's on Mind Kill. We'll be playing together this weekend.
MA60 Mixed Amateur 60, Scott Fort is your winner. MA50 Scott McLean. MA40 Michael Smith shot a -2. Robert Bennett +2 in second place. Timothy Giardini shot -3 in Pro 60 plus. Kerry Powell came in second at +5. MP50 Dan Eigner -5. Joe Driskolka in second +3. MP40 Craig Cutler -20 beat Steve Brinster at -18. And Michelle Gallagher is your pro winner beat Betty Keene and Caitlin Clay, who tied for second by 3 strokes.
I was watching live scores for that. It was a pretty good battle until like the last few holes. I think all the ladies were kind of tied up, and I think Caitlin might have back-to-back bogeyed or double bogeyed a hole and kind of fell back. But yeah, watching live scores was interesting.
We'll do Skip Ace next week and figure that out. So this weekend, correct me if I'm wrong, New York Team Challenge Finals?
Yep.
All right. So our current standings for the New York Team Challenge picks. I got Evan at 9 and 11, Jacob at 7 and 7, Alex at 16 and 10, Jason at 17 and 7, Randy at 19 and 7, got leapfrogged by Caitlin, who's now at 19 and 5. In second place, Jaimen 20 and 6. And in first place with a record of 22 and 4 is Corey. So how are we going to do picks? Here's my initial thought, and feel free to amend or change anything. We know who the first matches are going to be. So I figure we pick the first matches and then pick a winner. But if anybody has any alternate plan, what are you thinking?
When you do a bracket, you get points, right? There's like points in the bracket. Is it based on how many positions you get right? Like if you're doing like a March Madness bracket, I don't do brackets, so I don't really know. But
Yeah, I think so. Like first round is X points, and then second round correct is worth more. And
well, actually no, because that gets me with matches played. I was trying to think if there's a way to just predict 1, 2, 3, 4 without how you would score that. I was just thinking, like, at the end of the day, there should be someone that came in first, someone that came in second, someone that came in third, and someone that came in fourth. If you were to just pick those, how would you score those? Like, am I making any sense? Or am I just...
I don't know. Andrew, what are your thoughts?
Oh, sorry. I missed that.
Explain it to him, Corey.
For Team Challenge Finals, since it's double elimination, like, if you were trying to score... How to make picks without overcomplicating it, but also not just basing it off of round one when we know who the matches are.
I don't know. I don't follow Team Challenge close enough, to be honest. So
let's just stick with your original thought, Pat. We'll pick round one matches and then who's the overall winner.
Yeah, you can make up the scoring after you see the results.
Yeah.
Well, that gives Jaimen a shot and Caitlin to at least tie or win.
Have everybody DM you their picks, so it's all secret. I don't know.
Randy, can you explain how it works? I know with New England Team Challenge, Alex explained last week that you got your first round matches. The 2 winners play the 2 winners. The 2 losers play the 2 losers. The winner of that moves up.
Mm-hmm.
The loser of that has to play the winner of the 2 losers, and then that winner moves up. How does it work with New York?
Yeah, so it's similar, but there's no moving up or relegation in the league. So it's just for the cash at the end, basically. So the team that just goes win to start their day, they're first place and they're done. And then that's when the double elimination part comes in. It's for the teams that have actually lost. So the teams that have 1 loss and 1 win during the day, they'll play a third match. The winner of that will take second, and the loser of that will take third.
So kind of the same system, just it's not about moving up or relegation. It's just about who gets paid what.
Yeah, there's a pretty decent fall off on the payout. So getting that second place is a lot more money. I think the third place team basically just gets 10% of the pot, which is basically you're paying yourself back for the season, give or take some dollars. I'm not sure the exact number.
On top of New York Team Challenge Finals, Disc Captains have C Pool Finals on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So potentially playing 6 freaking rounds this weekend.
Or
I'm
5
really
and a
glad
half,
that
if you can count.
I'm really glad NYTC is on Sunday and not the other way around.
But you're going to take it easy, right? You're going to go really easy on Saturday.
No, I will bleed on that course for Jaimen. Which is totally possible. It's that top hole. You could trip and fall on a rock or a stump or something. I might actually bleed.
Which is good. I don't have to worry about anything. We got next week covered as far as content. All right.
Except we're all going to be sleeping.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you'll all be like zombies.
Yeah, I know Corey, Jason, and I are really the cornerstone of a good trivia round, but just keep that in mind next week.
No, that's cool. So what's on Saturday? What's on Sunday?
So Saturday is New England Team Challenge Finals for the C Pool, which is in Top of the Hill in Canterbury, New Hampshire, which is about 2.5, 3 hours away from CTK if you're driving straight there, which basically nobody except me is. So that's the possibility of 3 rounds on Saturday. And then part of being 3 rounds is we're not going to get done until pretty late if we play all 3 rounds, thinking like 6 o'clock at the earliest kind of thing. Then we get to drive back and then drive to CTK on Sunday for, I think New York's upwards of 2.5 rounds. Is that right, Randy?
Yeah, 2.5. I didn't say that. So the third round is a 9-hole round, just to not have to fight daylight or anything.
Is everybody here good for a quiz?
I am.
Down.
Yep.
Andrew, I got 2 questions for you.
Hit me with it.
Do you want to do 3 teams of 2 or 2 teams of 3?
3 teams of 2.
All right. Second question, who's your partner?
Out of who?
Out of everybody that's on your Zencaster screen.
Except for Pat.
Except for me, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Evan.
All right. You're very smart.
He brought me here. I gotta keep him on my side here.
All right. Randy, I think you finished best in your tournament. So who do you want as your partner?
I think I'm going to have to go with Alex because I haven't won a lot this year.
All right. And that is Jaimen and Corey, which means they go
Boys are
first.
back in town. The
There you
boys
go,
are back
Corey.
in town.
I'm going to make us double partners on
Who's
Saturday.
Corey and Jaimen's partner, Pat?
Hey, fuck you.
All right. That means they get to go first. I've got 3 categories. We'll do 2. The third one will get eliminated. What category would you like? Category 1, category 2, or category 3?
Any of them speaking to you right now, Jaimen?
Nope.
3. That was me speaking to you.
That
We're
sounds
going
good.
to go 3, Pat.
All right. Let me adjust what category 3 is. And I'm teasing. All right. Question 1, category 3. What brand of foam clog style footwear known for its comfort and distinctive holes is often associated with casual, lightweight shoes? What brand of foam clog style footwear known for its comfort and distinctive holes is often associated with casual, lightweight shoes?
Croc.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Is the Croc a disc?
Is that end of a disc?
I feel like there is a Croc. Oh, wait, is it Cayman? There's a Cayman.
There's a cane.
I still kind of say yes on this one.
Oh, and there's a crow, right? Is it CRO? Innova?
Yeah, there is a CRO.
Oof. I don't like Innova having a crow and a croc.
They have a gator and a Cayman, though.
They do. Do you still want to say yeah? I don't know anymore. No, I think I want to say no.
Okay, I'll go with you. Let's say no.
No.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Innova Champion Discs, September 5th, 2019.
Fuck. I thought it did too, Dave. I talked to someone.
It's all good.
That's all right. We got a trivia question, right? That's
Yeah.
All right, Andrew and Evan, category 1, 2, or 3.
What do you think, Andrew?
Category 2. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right, question 1, category 2. What battle fought 25 miles east of Athens in 490 BC kept the Persians out of Greece for 10 years? What battle fought 25 miles east of Athens in 490 BC kept the Persians out of Greece for 10 years?
Evan, I hope your history is way better than mine.
The only thing I can think of is like Sparta. Yeah, I don't know.
History was the subject I was always sleeping on.
Wasn't that like the movie 300 with the Spartans and the Persians? What's the name of the place, though, maybe? I don't know. Sparta's the best I got off the top of my head.
Let's go Sparta. I have nothing. I got nothing.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Sure.
Randy and Alex, what battle fought 25 miles east of Athens in 490 BC kept the Persians out of Greece for 10 years?
You know it? I know it.
I thought it was Thermopylae, but that's a kind of aggressive first question.
So, Battle of Thermopylae was the 300 Spartans.
Yeah.
Marathon was 25 miles outside.
Oh, that's a easier question one. Let's go with that.
Marathon.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Is the marathon a disc?
Maybe.
Feels good, I think.
Yeah.
It's,
Throwing a marathon.
Yeah, let's go yes.
Yeah, feels good.
I'm sorry, no.
Well,
But
steal.
that was a steal. And your regular question, category 2 or category 3?
Oh, right. It's just 2 and 3.
What do you think? Footwear or running races?
So footwear or footwear?
Yeah, basically.
Exactly.
Not really happy with either of them, but if 2 is Greek stuff, then I'm relatively good with Greek stuff.
All right, let's stick with the Greek stuff. Category 2.
All right, question 2, category 2. What Chicago rapper won an Oscar in 2015 for the song Glory, which he recorded with John Legend for the Selma soundtrack? What Chicago rapper won an Oscar in 2015 for the song Glory, which he recorded with John Legend for the Selma soundtrack?
Randy, I don't think this is Greek stuff.
This is not Greek. Chicago rappers.
Dude, I have no clue. Like you're not getting anything out of me on this one.
Name a rapper, Alex.
Chance the Rapper.
That was an answer. Shoot, is he from Chicago? He's not from Chicago. I feel like he's
Probably
from Texas.
not. I don't know. It's literally the first thing that came to my head because he has rapper in his name.
All right, did it with John Legend. Nope, I got no idea of Chicago rappers. Should we just say Chance the Rapper and not list all the rappers?
I mean, I think we have just as good a chance with Chance the Rapper as anybody else. else.
All right,
But I think he's way too late timeline wise. But
Oh yeah, 2015.
or 2015, that it could be.
Mm,
I don't know.
You guys agree?
Let's do it.
we're gonna agree.
All right. Jaimen and Corey. What Chicago rapper won an Oscar in 2015 for the song Glory, which he recorded with John Legend for the Selma soundtrack?
I will say, at least you're right about Chance being from Chicago.
Was he really?
No, he still is, yeah.
Wow.
Do you know this one, Jamin?
I don't. I've got an idea.
What's your idea?
Run DMC.
Okay, I was thinking Kanye West.
I like that more. I'm just riffing on Marathon.
Like, I'm pretty sure Kanye West is Chicago, right?
I think that would make sense.
And John Legend.
It does sound like a very Kanye thing.
Yeah. Wait, this was a question. This was a question 2, or a category 2.
Question 2, category 2.
Would the answer be Kanye? Could there really be a? There's no way that Kanye would let a disc be named Kanye and not like make us think about it, right? Like everyone knows about disc golf at that point. Or maybe it's just the Yee. No, he was Kanye back then.
Yeah, he was still. Yeah, that adds a whole nother layer to it.
It was the first thing that I came up with, and I couldn't really get off of it because I don't really know rappers, or at least where they come from, except for like Eminem.
Yeah, that's Detroit.
Because he won't shut up about it.
Yeah, I say go with it. It's just a broad net to cast in that world.
So Kanye.
Yeah.
You guys going with Kanye?
Yeah.
Andrew and Evan. What Chicago rapper won an Oscar in 2015 for the song Glory, which he recorded with John Legend for the Selma soundtrack?
Evan, you got anything?
Yeah, when I think Chicago rappers, I think Common, and I think that he won an Oscar.
I was going to say Gnarls Barkley, but I don't even know if he's from Chicago. So if you know that Common's from Chicago, I know he's a rapper.
Pretty confident that he is from Chicago.
Let's roll with it. I'm going with Evan.
What are you going with?
Common.
Is the Common a disc?
Wow, I don't know how that fits the category, but...
Quick Common shout out, though. Did anyone ever watch that Railroad TV show that was like on Netflix or whatever it was that Common was like one of the lead actors in?
No, and that's the thing. I think of him more of as an actor now, but...
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
Hell on Wheels or something like that? Is that what it was called? Damn. Oh, okay.
You must really like that show.
Andrew, you're the one that owns the disc store, but I don't know. I don't think the Common is a disc.
Here's the thing. So far, I knew the Croc was a disc. I knew the Marathon wasn't a disc. So I'm going to say Common, not a disc.
I agree with Andrew.
You are correct.
Let's go.
Yo.
So one round through Andrew and Evan with 2. Randy, Alex, Jaimen and Corey at 1. Jaimen and Corey, what category? 2 or 3?
We say with 3, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That was a double steal, right?
Yeah, that was a double steal. That was kind of crazy. Yeah, let's go with 3.
Category 3?
Yeah.
Question 2, category 3. What chain store founded in 1971 was named for the first mate in Moby Dick? What chain store founded in 1971 was named for the first mate in Moby Dick?
Well, I'm not going to be able to come up with a name that relates to Moby Dick, that's for sure.
Here we go. The only person in Moby Dick that I know the name of is Ahab, and that's not it.
That's Captain Ahab, right?
Yeah. Fuck, what is it? I can like, it's not going to come to me. I know that there's another person in it. I just can't remember their name right now.
Marshall?
You're really stuck on Eminem, huh?
Oh, no, I was trying to think of stories. All I can think of right now is a Marshall's. That's
Oh, okay. Yeah, chains. All right, well, let's look at it the other way. Chain stores in 1971. Let's think about all those. Pennyworth?
Oof.
What is it? Sears?
JCPenney? Chain stores. Not specific enough. Everything's a chain store now.
Yeah, right. 1971. What the hell was around in 1971?
Smoking indoors.
No seatbelts.
Right. What was it? Admiral?
The first mate's name was Admiral?
First mate. Okay, yeah, first mate. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the same boat. Shit. That's not going to come to me, man.
Yeah, let's say Sears.
Sears. Yep, Sears.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
What do you got, Andrew and Evan? What chain store founded in 1971 was named for the first mate in Moby Dick?
We talking restaurants? What about Long John Silver's?
Could be.
I don't think that's the answer.
So they said the captain's name, which I agree. And the first line of the book is "Call me Ishmael." I don't know if Ishmael is the first mate, but that's the only other name I know from that book.
Well, you know 2 more names than I do.
So that's all I got. Ishmael.
Let's go with it. You haven't steered me wrong yet.
You guys agree?
Sure.
Yes.
All right, Randy and Alex. What chain store founded in 1971 was named for the first mate in Moby Dick?
I don't know.
No, I knew Ishmael, but I don't think there's a chain store. Can you think of any chain stores that are just like the name of a shoe?
Name
That
of
could
a
also
shoe.
be a guy's name.
Yeah, nothing off the top of my head.
Wait, why a shoe?
Because Croc. I'm going to go with
Oh.
the category is just shoes for now until I'm proven wrong, which I was immediately for category 2. So
Yeah, Ishmael was the only other name I knew from the book.
was the whale named Moby Dick?
Yes.
Okay, so it's definitely not Dick's Sporting Goods.
I
You want to go with Marshalls
think
just
it
to
was. Yeah, I mean-
mess with Corey?
I mean, we might as well. I got
That'd be
nothing.
really funny though.
Yeah, I got no clue.
You going with Marshalls?
We're going with Marshalls.
We're looking for Starbucks.
Oh,
Wait,
Starbucks.
what? Starbucks.
Was that category 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew
Thank you.
I knew it was a restaurant.
XUFO Ace Mold Company Limited, April 5th, 2024, the Starbucks. What if I said something about Battlestar Galactica? Anybody? Nothing? No.
Nah.
Would not have helped.
I've heard of it, but I wouldn't know any references from it.
I was kind of surprised that Alex didn't know it though. Not gonna lie.
I was surprised that Randy didn't know it because he's from Cape Cod. I was like, oh shit, he knows everything about whales over there.
I do know
So that
some
was
stuff.
Jaimen and Corey's original question. So Andrew and Evan, category 2 or category 3?
I'd say 3.
Yeah, let's go 3. 2 was hard.
All right. Question 3, category 3. The French for little shield gives us what word for an arrow's intended? The French for little shield gives us what word for an arrow's intended?
Evan, you got anything there?
For an arrow's intended? I'm not sure.
French?
I took French, but that was a long time ago.
I took Spanish. French is my worst subject.
Sorry, can you say it one more time, Pat?
The French for little shield gives us what word for an arrow's intended? While you guys are thinking about that, I want to shout out Kisco Tuesday Dubs, Ishmael Valencia, and Kyle Loomsden. Shout out -9.
Call that guy Ishmael.
Classic Ishmael.
I don't know if we're looking for like the French word for path, but we could go with something off of that.
Yeah, like boulevard or something. I don't know. I don't know what the word for shield is.
I don't know either, but I will tell you that Max Horowitz and Peter Ferraro shot a -13 at Wilcox Tuesday Dubs.
That's wonderful. I don't know, Andrew. I'm sorry. I unfortunately have nothing here. I don't really have a good guess even.
I don't either. We'll go Boulevard final.
Okay.
Final answer, Boulevard.
Yes.
Randy and Alex, the French for little shield gives us what word for an arrow's intended?
So I think the French word is targe, but it would
Yeah.
be target or target.
Sounds right to me. Absolutely. That is exactly the thought process I had as well. So
Nice.
You guys agree?
yeah,
Yes.
Is the target or target a disc?
seems like a good disc name.
Oh, whoa, big rolling thunder. I don't
That
know
was
if you
thunder.
hear that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard that.
Wow, we could hear that over the mic.
I heard a crack and a whoa.
That's
But somebody was just
loud.
breathing into their microphone.
Yeah, I was so
No, that
confused.
crazy.
It's like, did I do something wrong?
So if we go disconnected again, we'll know what happened. Is the target or target a disc?
That feels like a good disc name, right?
I kind of hate it. It's not a target. It's like the basket is the target.
True. You don't throw the target at the target.
Oh man.
Okay. No, I like that logically makes sense.
I want to go no. And if
Let's
I'm wrong,
go
I'm
no
going to
then.
feel silly, but
That's what we do. We say no and we're always wrong.
all right, let's go no.
Let's go no.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
hmm
You are correct.
Hey,
We did it.
All right. You guys got category 2 or category 3?
I think I know what 3 is if we want to stick with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm happy sticking with 3.
All right. Question 4, category 3. The Chaban Delmas vertical lift bridge in the port of Bordeaux signals in blue when what is high? The Chaban Delmas vertical lift bridge in the port of Bordeaux signals in blue when what is high?
Is that just Tide?
It's the first thing that came to mind, and it's a brand name. And
Yeah, makes sense.
Sure, it makes it's a vertical lift bridge, so that's something that goes over water, and it does the open up thing.
hmm Yeah,
Let's do it.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Is the Tide a disc?
that'd be a good DGA disc name.
It would, but I don't think it is DGA.
Right, I've never heard of it. My gut is yes. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think Tide is a cool enough nature word that someone picked it up, even if it wasn't DGA. We're gonna go with yes.
Going yes.
Westside Golf
Ah.
Discs, March 17th, 2025.
Oh,
just
new.
last week or 2 weeks ago.
St. Patrick's Day. All right. So we're 2 rounds through. Randy and Alex just jumped ahead with 5 points. Andrew and Evan have 2, and Jaimen and Corey have 1. Jaimen and Corey, category 2 or category 3?
We keep going with 3.
Yeah, I think that one's safer.
Yeah, let's go 3.
All right. Question 5, category 3. In addition to "In God We Trust," what other word is found on the face of all U.S. coins? In addition to "In God We Trust," what other word is found on the face of all current U.S. coins? Please don't check your pockets.
Trying really hard not to look around right now.
Walmart.
All right, so they all say "In God We Trust," right?
Yep, I learned that. Damn it. This is gonna bother me. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, same.
But it would be like a brand name,
Yeah, man.
and it's on all U.S. coins. I'm kind of like shooting a quarter, but I still can't.
Right. That's the only one I'm trying to think. It's got. I didn't really think there was anything else on there.
And it's in English,
Not necessarily.
not Latin. Damn, I bet you I'm sounding real dumb right about now.
No, there's what's the other thing in God We Trust, E Pluribus Unum, which is the same thing, but that's on the back, I think.
That was like the phrase that I was thinking of, but that is definitely not going to be the. I can't think of a single part of that. That would be the answer.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just like going through things, seeing if we can
Mhm.
jog it. Could it say treasury on there? That's not a store.
You say the question one more time, Pat?
In addition to "In God We Trust," what other word is found on the face of all current U.S. coin?
Okay, word. I wasn't sure if you said a word or phrase.
Fuck. Mint.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, mint.
Mint. I got nothing, man.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
What do you got, Andrew and Evan? In addition to "In God We Trust," what other word is found on the face of all current U.S. coins?
I was going to say United States of America, but it's not that. That's a phrase. Trademark, maybe?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Liberty.
Yes. No, it 100% is.
You
Let's
guys
go
agree?
Liberty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the Liberty a disc? Now, Corey and Jaimen, feel free to check your pockets.
I don't know if I can have a coin within arm's reach.
All right.
Is Liberty a disc? I'd say probably.
I mean, Dynamic has all the like court themed names, so I would
Yeah.
imagine they had a Liberty. I don't know, like I've never seen that before, but let's go yes.
I think yes.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh,
But that was a steal. Category 2 or category 3? What do you guys got?
what do you think, Evan? You want to switch it up? Go back.
One
to
question
two?
in category 3, 4 questions in category 2.
Or you want to finish
The
up?
last question tends to be more difficult, but then I don't know. Whatever you think. We could go to 2.
Let's go 2.
Okay.
All right, question 3, category 2. What dog, of which there are more than 20 breeds, takes its name from the Latin for earth? What dog, of which there are more than 20 breeds, takes its name from the Latin for earth?
So when I hear Earth, I think like Terra, and
Terrier.
I'm thinking terrier. Yeah, there's lots of different terriers, right?
Yeah, there's definitely 20 different variations of a terrier.
Okay.
I say let's go with it. I like that. I like the thought process.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Is the terrier a disc?
I don't think the terrier.
I mean, there's a bunch of animal discs across different brands, different manufacturers, but a terrier? I don't know. It's like a friendly little disc. I don't know though.
I mean, my gut's telling me no, but I'm also, I mean, I thought for sure my gut was telling me the Liberty was a disc.
I think we go with the gut one more time. I'll go with you. I say no.
All right, let's go no final.
You are correct.
Hey.
Good call.
All right, that was your regular question. Randy and Alex, category 2 or category 3?
Do you have any idea what 2 is, the category? I have no idea.
I don't either.
I am scared of question 6, though. It's usually hard.
Yeah.
Should we just go with 2?
Yeah, I think so.
Alrighty.
All right, question 4, category 2. In February 1983, Queen Elizabeth visited San Diego, stopping in Balboa Park to unveil a statue of William Shakespeare at what theater? Named for the historic one in London, where many of Shakespeare's plays were performed. In February 1983, Queen Elizabeth visited San Diego, stopping in Balboa Park to unveil a statue of William Shakespeare at what theater? Named for the historic one in London, where many of Shakespeare's plays were performed?
Is that Globe?
Yeah, so the Globe Theater is definitely the theater where Shakespeare did stuff. I don't know any of the other question, but the Globe Theater is definitely where Shakespeare did stuff. So that tracks for me.
Yeah, keep it simple. Just go Globe.
You guys agree?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Is the globe a disc?
That seems like a good disc name, doesn't it?
Yeah, I want to go yes.
Let's do yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh no.
Final round. Randy and Alex are at 6. Andrew and Evan at 5. Jaimen and Corey at 1.
Mm-hmm.
Jaimen and Corey, category 2 or category 3?
Oh, I thought 3 was closed out. Wait, was Terrier a 2 or a 3?
Terrier was a 2.
And Globe.
Interesting.
I say we go 2 because 3's fucking us.
Yeah, we got kind of lucky on the first one, seems. Yeah, let's go with 2.
All right. Question 5, category 2. What supergroup formed in 1966 when Eric Clapton met 2 members of a British jazz quintet, Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker? What supergroup formed in 1966 when Eric Clapton met 2 members of a British jazz quintet, Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker?
Cream.
Mm-hmm.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Is the Cream a disc?
Yes, Jaimen. Yes.
Did you know that pretty early on?
Immediately, yeah.
No.
Couldn't tell you a whole lot of Cream songs. I can only tell you that one Cream joke.
Tell me it.
What do Black Coffee and Ginger Baker have in common? They both suck without cream.
Oh. But is the Cream a disc?
Kind of sounds like a decent disc
Yeah,
name.
if it's not, it should be.
Yeah.
Saying yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, no.
Ooh, damn.
And that's in multiple spellings of cream for the phonetical.
Felt like it would have been a good one for Clash.
I thought it was a Clash disc for some reason.
They might have the cookies and cream.
I'm going to cream this thing. Ooh, maybe that doesn't sound good anymore, actually. Okay, never
Courtesy
mind.
violation.
Yeah, you can't say that
There's
anymore.
plenty of screams, but there are no creams. All right, Andrew and Evan, you're down 1. Category 2 or category 3? 1 question left in each category.
I think we want category 2.
Yeah, let's keep rolling with C2.
All right, question 6, category 2. What elderly nickname has been the title of biographies of both Louis Armstrong and baseball legend Willie Stargell? What elderly nickname has been the title of biographies of both Louis Armstrong and baseball legend Willie Stargell?
Here we go with the history again.
Trying to think if they both had the same nickname. Can you read that one more time, Pat?
What elderly nickname has been the title of biographies of both Louis Armstrong or Louis Armstrong and baseball legend Willie Stargell?
Okay, so elderly nickname, so a nickname for an older person. I think the Willie Stargell part, I think his nickname was Pops.
Uh-huh.
And if the category is what I think it is, that makes sense. But I'm not sure about Louis Armstrong.
Pops. Let's go with it. I got nothing. So the gears are turning way better for you. I say if you're feeling somewhat good about that, let's go with it. Because I got nothing.
I think it's Pops.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Is the Pop or Pops a disc?
Randy, you don't know what that category is?
No.
As a Massachusetts guy, I'm disappointed.
Marathon, Common, Terrier,
Oh, it's all Boston.
Globe, Cream, Pops.
Atlanta.
Is the Pop? I don't think the Pops.
I'll also point out everyone in this category has been a no so far. Now, he could throw the curveball at the end, but...
Well, there's a Popcorn. That is a Clash disc.
Yeah, I don't think that would count for just for Pop. You said Pop or Pops, right?
Correct.
It would be some kind of offshoot sort of thing.
I think no.
Yeah.
I think he did a category of all no's.
I mean, I've never heard of it, so I say no, unless it's like some older disc or something. Let's go no.
Going with no.
You guys agree?
Yep.
You are correct.
Nice.
That I would do a category entirely of no's just for Randy, and he didn't get it. Okay. Final question. You're down 1. Randy and Alex. Question 6, category 3.
Was it Boston phrases? We finished out that category.
Boston Marathon, Boston Common, Boston Terrier, Boston Globe, Boston Cream, and Boston Pops.
What the hell is Boston Pops?
It's an
an
orchestra.
Yikes, Jesus, guys, holy crap.
I'm going to be fair. I didn't know that one either.
Randy and Alex for the potential win. Question 6, category 3. What term is used to describe the top of a hill or the ornamental tuft appearing on the top of the head of a bird? What term is used to describe the top of a hill or the ornamental tuft appearing on the top of the head of a bird?
Sounds like a crest to me.
That would be a crest.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the crest a disc?
That's a harder question.
Yeah, I have no clue.
It seems like something that would fit West Side, but I haven't heard anything about a West Side crest. Could be a new one. It feels like there's so many things that it could potentially fit.
I know a lot of companies could use it. I want to go yes. This category has been all over the place with yeses and nos. So
Yeah, my instinct was definitely yes.
let's go yes.
Let's do it.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh my gosh.
We have a tie.
I do have an idea for tiebreakers in the future.
What do you
or
got?
Now, if you want, pick an obscure disc, any disc you want, and we just guess the date it was manufactured, and the closest wins.
Ooh, I don't hate that.
It would certainly make things go a little bit faster.
I was listening to another trivia show, and they have a tiebreaker using like a numerical answer, so that there's only
CTP.
one winner. Yeah.
All right, Corey, so get a date calculator ready.
Give me 1 minute and I will do that.
Great idea, Randy.
I had that one in my pocket for a while. I should have brought it up.
No.
earlier.
It's I don't know if anybody outside here knows, but a lot of this is made up as we go. I found the one that I like. Randy and Alex, you're picking first because Evan has the most wins. I'm going to give you the disc manufacturer and the disc model, and you tell me the approval date. We're just looking for the year. Disc Golf Association Hellfire.
Ooh.
All right. I think this was out before I started playing, so I think it's pre-2018.
I have zero support for it, but the first number that jumped into mind was 2014.
All right. I don't hate that. DJA is an older company.
Yeah, that was my
It
thought.
could be way older than that, but I think it's super overstable, which is pretty newer technology.
Before you guys answer, we're not doing prices right. We're doing closest
just
to,
closest.
period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could be over, it could be under, whatever's closest.
No, I think 2014 sounds pretty good for discs starting to get stable, and you know, they were marketing more overstable stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with 2014. It's literally a number out of the blue.
I like it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Andrew and Evan, the Disc Golf Association Hellfire, they picked 2014. What is your pick?
I'm not really familiar with this disc.
That's why I picked it.
Thank you. I know we're not doing prices right, but I want to just like $1, Bob, like 2015. I don't know.
The Hellfire, I mean, it sounds like kind of an older. When did the Firebird come out? It's got to be earlier than that. It sounds like it could be like something similar to a Firebird, but I don't know. Do you know when the Firebird came out, Evan?
No.
I don't either. I'm guessing early 2000s.
I mean, Randy's been playing for a while, so if he says it's been around longer, that makes sense. I just don't have a good...
You want to try just going 1 year earlier and seeing what happens? Or, I mean, because like I said, I don't have much.
Plus or minus a year, I guess. Pick one either way. Just kind of jump on their guess.
I say we go 2013.
All right.
You guys agree?
Yep.
I did do a quick check. Firebird was 2007.
Damn.
They guessed 2014. You guys guessed 2013. The actual answer, Disc Golf Association Hellfire, was April 20th, 2015.
Hey.
Let's go.
Congratulations, Randy and Alex, our trivia winners for the night.
I would have guessed 2012. I would have went under them.
I like that, Randy. Thank you. Does anybody have any events or anything that they want to mention as we finish up, or no?
Fool's Fest is coming up this weekend.
Well, we'll talk about that next weekend.
And the Thatcher Flex DisCap thing is following Friday next week.
Oh, is that when that is?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the 11th.
I got to remember that because I'm not going to remember ever.
It's the day before our finals.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, Alex, Corey, Randy, Jaimen, Evan, and Jason. And thanks for coming on, Andrew. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Pat, and thank you guys. Had a blast. I'll come on again anytime. Just let me know.
Happy birthday, Eric Bowers. I think we're a little bit late on that, but happy birthday, Eric. And sweet up, Hudson Bell. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Andrew, how you doing?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yo.
How do you say your last name?
Chamberlain.
Okay. As I would have expected. I didn't know with the E at the end if it changed it.
There's a lot of extra vowels. I don't know what happened at the immigration office, but
So it's not Chalamet?
No, I wish it was. How you guys doing though?
Not bad.
Still breathing, it's always good.
Oh, I'm barely breathing. I got something at Blatnick. I don't know if it was just the wind, but I got like a sinus infection or something going on.
That's probably all that shit you were smelling down there. That shit gets piped out by the GPMs.
One of the dudes on the card threw it right in the pond too, so we had to like stand over the pond of trash juice. But
trash juice, yeah.
Did you guys see that they got rid of that whole 18 at that Sparkle Valley?
Yeah, but I'm wondering if that's an April Fool's joke. Just launched a day early. It seemed like there was some sarcasm to it.
I don't usually watch a lot of videos. That one just popped up.
I just saw it like an hour ago.
Same, yeah.
But yeah, some comments were like, "This might be an April Fool's joke." I don't know. I mean,
anybody here watch the event?
Oh yeah, especially for that hole.
Was it a crappy hole?
Some people would say yes. Some people would say that they're professionals. They should be able to handle it, I guess. But I was making the joke before that it kind of felt like the shot that they kept messing up, that OB to the island over the staircase, kind of felt like a Stony Kill hole 18 shot. Like if you had gotten to the bottom of the hill that you're trying to, that second part of the fairway. I'm not sure how far that was, but then somebody actually produced a graphic that had like all the distances mapped out and the elevation change and everything else. And I think they said it was 150 feet from base of the stairs, like where the OB line is, to get to the basket, or at least at the safe landing spot. And I think now I'm on the side of they just screwed the hole up, like all of them, or everyone that did play it badly just kind of seemed like they screwed the hole up. They could have played it a lot better by just like, I think one of the rules was if you had crossed OB at any point, you take it out, up there, opposed to having to like rethrow. It seemed like they were being a little too cautious on their approach.
I was just curious. There's a difference between a tough hole and a bad hole, so. And I was writing the little intro here, so I wanted to buy a couple minutes, and thank you for that, Corey.
I mean, nobody else has an opinion? Just going to hang me out to dry?
I did not watch that event.
I saw people parring it, bogeying it, but I mean, I would have probably I would have gotten an 8 on it, I'm sure.
Yeah, but an 8 is still like gaining strokes on some of the field, and no matter what division you were in, MPO or FPO.
I only watched the lead card coverage, and from what I was seeing, at least, in the MPO division, it seemed like guys were mostly taking like bogey at worst unless they really screwed up their putt. But I mean, the complaint that I heard was the fact that it was, such a small island and such a hard approach to get to. But I mean, I don't know. I think if you're going into that event as a top tier pro, you got to have that shot ready, or that hole ready in your mind at least.
It seemed like a lot of the blow ups, like there were some bad scores, but like the blow ups that happened, including like Kristen's and I'm guessing Calvin's same. I can't remember specifically, but like they were getting to the right landing zone in 2-stroke, and then they would just like go OB 3 times to get those 11, 12s. Yeah, I don't know. It was fun to watch as a spectator, I think. Pat went orange. Does anyone else see that?
I see that.
Nope.
Oh,
He gone.
I'm going to miss him.
And now HVDGP taps.
Anybody figure out why we have no points for Skip Face yet?
I'm going to guess because FPO was on a different day. It like messed something up.
Yeah.
When Pat gets back, let's say that Jaimen and Jason already said their bit too.
Thank you.
So I should just drag mine on longer to like take your guys' time, really get into the nitty gritty.
Is there a chance that none of this downloads anyways?
I think all of this is gonna stick. At least that's what he said in the past, because it's like on a server. So
yeah,
like when we cut out and stuff, it's usually actually there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be on the B side.
We got ducks on the course.